our president should have asked him, is that what you're planning to do with these people? And then let's hear what Trump says.
Was that the moment for Team South Africa to pull out the stats and actually try and counter what is a narrative that we all know is false?
No, Trump is not interested in statistics. He's interested in effect. Statistics don't give effect. He wants drama. You can't create drama with statistics. You have to make a story. He gives a story. He doesn't give any statistics. He shows these crosses. You know, if you go to Arlington Cemetery in Virginia, you have crosses like that for the soldiers who have been killed in the many wars America has fighting. If you go to France, in the cemeteries from the First World War, the Second World War, you have crosses like that. The cemeteries of the Commonwealth, in Belgium, you have crosses. You could take a picture like that anyway.
So in light of what you just said, right, and looking at Team South Africa's performance in the Oval Office, that delegation, do you think, because you say they were ill-prepared, do you think behind closed doors they were possibly better prepared?
I doubt it. I doubt it. Because the question is, what does Trump want from South Africa? They should have asked him that question. He's preoccupying himself with the internal affairs of South Africa. What's he after? What does he want from us? Instead, they go there and ask him for help. They say, we're a crime-ridden society. We need help. We need drones. We need this, that, and that. South Africa makes drones. We don't need to go to the Americans to be given drones. We make drones.
So when Johan Rupert speaks about Starlink, that it must be at every police station in the country, was that the ground being prepared for that?
I have no idea what that was all about. Why do we need Starlink? We have our own telecommunications systems in South Africa. We have huge cellular phone companies in South Africa. They can set up a telecommunication system for the police stations if they don't have one. But I'm sure our police stations have their telecommunication system. We don't need to go and ask the Americans for one.
It seems, though, especially when you look at the police's budget currently, that there's a chunk of it, right, about 80% of it being spent on personnel, and then you're looking at another portion being spent on administration. One wonders, though, how much of that is available to spend towards crime-fighting efforts in the country. So maybe, if I'm listening to what you're saying, it's time to rethink priorities in that order and stop going outside of the country to try and get more money.
Well, exactly. You see, but this is to do with management of government departments of South Africa. It's got nothing to do with money, with technologies from Elon Musk. It's how to manage a department of the country, a crime-fighting department, which is the police.
So before the South African delegation left for the U.S., I was in conversation with the presidency spokesperson, Vincent Makwenya, who was saying that the U.S. has what South Africa needs and South Africa has what the U.S. needs as well. The relationship has been mutually beneficial and all of that, and it's time now to reset these particular relations. Do you think that performance in the Oval Office got that message of resetting and also trying to ensure that you reimagine this relationship? It made it get lost in translation somewhere.
Yeah, because the president's office and the president and his spokespeople, they haven't explained to us why does our relationship with the United States need resetting. We have over 600 American companies. Many of them have been here for decades. Ford Motor Company has been here for decades and decades. Why does it need a reset relationship between South Africa and the United States? They haven't explained that. It's because they are falling into Trump's propaganda. And they think Trump's propaganda is something we have to answer to. But they're trying to be polite. Trump is making propaganda. He has a plan for South Africa. He has targeted certain social groups which he wants to use for his agenda. You don't need to reset anything. There's no need to reset our relationship with the United States. Our trade relationship with the United States is working fine. We have 600 or more American companies. Go to them and ask them, is your economic relation in South Africa, are you making a profit? And if you are making a profit, why do we need to reset relations with the United States government? Because we're dealing with people to people of the United States. They have their companies here.
Is it not perhaps because of the remarks that would have been made in the public domain, and then the Liberation Day tariffs as put out, and also how some were saying that it seems, even with the developments in the Middle East, particularly in Israel, it seems that this relationship is maybe at an all-time low or hitting rock bottom, according to some. So that could have potentially been the reason why they thought, let us go and possibly try to reset it. How do you think they should have then dealt with it? Ignore the propaganda?
No, you can't. You have to tackle the propaganda head on. But they didn't. They didn't tackle Trump's propaganda. Trump has been bad-mouthing our country. They didn't tackle the propaganda he's making against others. Instead, they were on the defensive. So they should have taken Trump head on about the propaganda and why he's bad-mouthing South Africa. We have companies from his countries which are operating and making money in South Africa, but he's trying to cause trouble in our relationship between our two countries. Why is he causing trouble in the relationship between South Africa and the United States? They should have asked him that.
So was it enough, in your view, to fix things, or is it the first step possibly towards a much more deeper engagement as far as bilateral relations are concerned?
Well, we have to understand. You see, if we don't understand what Trump's agenda is, then there's nothing you can fix because you don't know what the problem is. If you ask our government today, what is the problem between the United States and South Africa? Why is the President of the United States bad-mouthing South Africa and sending out propaganda about genocide, about expropriation? Why is he doing that? They can't tell you. They won't be able to because they are not doing their homework. They're not doing their homework, analyzing what is behind, what are Trump's objectives.
So what does it mean, especially for a country like ours that needs foreign direct investment, that desperately needs, I mean, we listened to what was coming out in Parliament yesterday, and it's clear, it's very clear that we do need a lot more investment. So in your view, then, looking at this entire performance, is there a chance that we could increase the investment?
We have investment from all over the world, not just from the United States. We have investment from Sweden. We have investment from China. We have investment from other African countries. So anyway, the American investors don't need Trump's permission to come and invest in South Africa. They will invest in South Africa if they think they will make money. So we have to create an environment that's conducive to private investors, domestic private investors, and foreign private investors. We don't have to pay any attention to what Trump thinks about South Africa.
Have we done enough to create that environment?
Well, that is a different story. We haven't. For example, the issue of black economic empowerment. I get complaints from, for example, European ambassadors in Pretoria that the policies of black economic empowerment are an obstacle to their companies investing in South Africa. Now they have to tackle that issue. It's got nothing to do with President Trump.